Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Sasso insecticide spray and coil.
Hello, good evening. Welcome. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live from News about Desawe Kanda, also live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and on DSTV channel 279. We're all across the world on 3news.com. We're also live on 3FM 92.7. I am Alfred Ocansey. Tonight, Environmental Protection Authority media team responding to treatment after being involved in an accident while covering a special operation on anti-illegal mining that's in the Ashanti region. Will tell you what exactly happened and how they're doing right now. Office of the Special Prosecutor and former National Petroleum Authority boss, Dr. Alhaji Mustafa Abdul Hamid, on a warpath over what his lawyers say is a media trial of their client. We unpack the issues tonight. Stay with us. Also, ahead of the new Patriotic Party's January 2026 presidential primary, the election committee of the party has revoked voting rights of persons who forfeited their membership. Well, stay with us. We'll tell you more on this, including some information coming through a raid by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO. They've arrested 320 persons in Kumasi. We'll tell you exactly what this is about, the categories of persons who have been arrested. Stay with us. You're part of the conversation. Let's hear from you. The hashtag we're using is Ghana Tonight on Facebook and on X. Let's get talking. Well, let's settle for Ghana Briefs.
Journalists covering the Environmental Protection Authority EPA special operation on clamping down illegal mining have been involved in an accident at Afari in the Ashanti region. Two of the journalists are currently in a critical state. Ashanti regional correspondent of Media General Ibrahim Abubakar was among the team. Reports has revealed the convoy of the EPA was attacked by some illegal miners at Dadwene near Obuase. Chief Executive Officer of the authority confirmed the incident.
Joy TV cameraman, and Abubakar is fairly okay. He was also involved, that's your reporter. Then we have Channel 1 TV, Doris, also a reporter from Ashanti region. She's also in not so critical a situation, but she's not okay, let me put it that way. She's responding to treatment. So we have 8 people who are victims of this, and they are responding to treatment.
Ghana will soon receive its presidential jet Falcon 900EX following an update from the Deputy Defense Minister that major maintenance works on the aircraft are advanced. Ernest Brujajemfi told Parliament that the reported corrosion spots detected in the jet and other defects have been repaired. He says the aircraft will return to Ghana after all tests, including a leak test of the fuel tanks, third engine ground run, and acceptance flight are conducted.
Mr. Speaker, the Falcon 900 executive aircraft was ferried to Dassault Falcon Services in Le Bourget, France, on Tuesday, 11th March 2025, for the 24 monthly and 1,600 flying hours periodic inspection. This inspection is a mandatory airworthiness requirement.
President John Dramani Mahama has announced the piloting of a private sector involvement and the collection of water bills, a move aimed at improving service delivery and efficiency in the Ghana Water Company. He made the comments at the sword curtain of a $150 million solar for industries that is expected to provide 200 megawatts of power for the industries in Agoto of the Ningo Prampram constituency.
This will be the industrial enclave, and then there will be the residential enclave, there will be the enclave for offices, there will be the commercial district, there will be the financial district, and so it will be a very well laid out city. So everything that is happening here is being integrated into the green digital city that we have envisioned for our dear nation, Ghana.
The new Patriotic Party Election Committee says all party members who forfeited their memberships will have their voting right revoked and cannot reclaim their previous positions unless they complete their necessary procedures for full reinstatement. Chairman of the committee, Joe Osei Owusu, was speaking at a press conference at the party's headquarters.
Members who have forfeited their membership under Article 391 shall be excluded from the process. Therefore, they shall not participate in or vote in the presidential election on Saturday, January. What I do know is that under the Constitution, you lose your membership when you contest against the party's candidate or you campaign for a candidate other than the party's candidate.
The Economic and Organized Crime Office, IOCO, has arrested 320 people in Kumasi in connection with a large-scale KillNet-related fraud and human trafficking operation. According to IOCO, 25 of those arrested are suspected to be the main perpetrators, while 295 are believed to be victims of employment and human trafficking scams carried out under the guise of KillNet activities. The arrest followed months of investigation by IOCO's anti-human trafficking unit, which conducted simultaneous operations in 2 locations.
It's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live on 3FM 92.7. Also on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and on DSTV channel 279. We're also on 3 News on YouTube. As always, probably brought to you by Flamingo Paint, Simply Superior, Sasso Insecticide Spray and Call Tum Preco. Coming up next on Ghana Tonight, we're live in the Ashanti region for updates on the Environmental Protection Authority media team, which was earlier today involved in an accident. Very unfortunate development. Journalists covering the EPA special operation on clamping down illegal mining were earlier today involved in an accident at Afari in the Ashanti region. Now, 2 journalists who were, we understand, are currently having their conditions being monitored right now. They are responding to treatment because of what happened earlier today. And our Ashanti regional correspondent, Media General Ibrahim Abubakar, was amongst the team. And we understand they are all responding to treatment as we speak. We want to get a bit more detail on exactly what happened. For those of you who are watching right now, on the screen you have a journalist who was part of the team who sustained head injuries. That's Ibrahim Abubakar, my colleague, Ashanti regional correspondent, seated there talking to this journalist. This is the colleague journalist who sustained head injuries as a result of this accident. Preliminary reports indicate that the convoy of the EPA was attacked by some illegal miners at Dagini near Obuasi. Now, let's get a bit more detail into this. And fortunately, we have the Chief Executive Officer of the Environmental Protection Authority joining us. Professor Nana Brown Cloche, if you can kindly put your video on for me, that'll be good. So we can have this conversation. But I'm going to show you what we do know and what's the condition of these colleague journalists as we've been showing you. We'll put it on the screen right now. It doesn't look good But then the most important development here is that they are responding to treatment. We want to establish a bit more detail on exactly what happened beyond this preliminary information that we've gotten. Unfortunately, Professor Nanama Brown-Kluche heads the Environmental Protection Authority. She's joining us on Zoom right now. Prof. Kluche, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for having me.
A very troubling and worrying development. And first off, let's establish how my colleague journalists are doing right now, those who are in the hospital.
Yeah, thank you very much. We thank God that we all have our lives now. It's just unfortunate that we have some injuries. As I said, the most critical one is a broken tie, which is one of the Joy TV cameraman who had a broken tie. Your correspondent, Abubakar, had he had chest pains and he is responding to treatment. Adom TV correspondent, that's Joseph with a head injury. He's also responding to treatments. Then we have some EPA staff who were also involved in the accident. They are all responding to treatment, and we have discussed it with the doctors and nurses in charge to pay special attention to them because we were on a national assignment before this unfortunate incident happened. Yeah, so as the operation we started yesterday, it's a 3-week plan that the EPA has to ensure, especially the services that others provide for mining in our water bodies, which is illegal. We plan to tackle that aspect as well. So we realize that it's not just enough to say stop mining in the river bodies, but again, we saw that we needed to deal with the suppliers. So we took over the shops, closed down many shops at the Arian Kwanta, as I narrated yesterday. So today we were on another route to close down some other shops. On our way near Obuase, we saw people on the ground, the galamsey happening on the ground. So we decided to have a look at what they were doing. When we stopped and walked into the area, in fact, where they actually mining, they have access route, so we had to stop by the roadside and walk to the ground, the field where they are mining. So as we were going closer, they were running away, and they did, all of them left by the time we got there. So we looked around what we could pick, we did pick. Whilst leaving, we saw that there were actually more of the excavators, 3 of the excavators that is inside a river body.
Inside?
So, inside river body. So in fact, they had mined in the river body and blocked the river in such a way that it has taken different tributaries around the area and flooded some places. It's messy. It was really a bad situation. So we actually went to the car and used another route to the place. And whilst there, the people also ran. We called them to come, and then just before we could even have a conversation, they had sent news around, and so we saw built men, a number of them came with guns. We had the military with us anyway, and the national security also were with us. But then we saw that we couldn't exchange fire, so we could not fight them. So we had to run for our lives. So in the course of we running, speeding on the road, we encountered this accident. So one of the cars, which had some EPA staff and some of the journalists, had a head-on collision with a truck that is actually carrying some pipes for galamsey, these galamsey operations. We saw some of them on the field. So they had a head-on collision, and we had the injuries that they are now at the hospitals and attending to treatment.
I see. So you're indeed confirming that you were attacked by galamsey operators. I mean, we say well-built, heavily armed people.
Yes. So Yeah. So some of them were dressed in black, like complete black from top to down. And some of them were wearing vests like this with CID written at the back. We asked them, in fact, the soldiers, the national security men, asked them of their ID card and stuff like that. So it was becoming confrontational. And then we had to leave because we couldn't. They said they cannot overpower them, so we had to leave. They had their arms, but we didn't. Of course, EPA doesn't. We didn't have, so we had to run.
I see. Now, what prompted the decision to run? Were they attempting to fire at you or attack you?
Yeah. So whilst they were having the confrontation, we got intel. So I got a phone call from Accra that we should leave immediately where we are, and that even the route we plan to take, we should not use it again, and we should not return on the same route we came from Kumasi to Obuasi. So we had to use another route altogether, much longer through Central Region, through Western Region, and then back to Kumasi. But just before we reached Kumasi is when we had a head-on collision.
And this change in route, as a result of that call you got, was because intelligence had been picked that you could possibly be attacked if you use the same route you came?
Yes. So as I received the call, the national security operators also had a similar call. So they were giving us feedback as they drove right in front of my vehicle, and we had one driving 2 vehicles behind. So we got phone calls from different sources, but all from the national security, that picking intel that where we are is not safe, and that we had to take cover immediately.
This is troubling. And you say that you saw some of these heavily built men wielding weapons. They were wearing vests with CID written at the back of it?
Yeah, with guns. In fact, pump action, they said.
And they refuse to produce an ID to authenticate whether they are indeed CID officials?
Yeah, they didn't have any ID to identify themselves as security agents.
And the military personnel that you were with, were they armed?
Yeah, some had guns with them, but not all of them. But then when they assessed the situation, they knew we cannot exchange like that, so we had to move.
Indeed, obviously, because with what you're describing, you were outnumbered, correct?
Exactly.
With the people that, because of the intel you had gotten, and the word that had gone out, that
and actually, the longer we stayed, the more they came. So then, we had to leave almost immediately. We saw those signals and received the calls.
I see, but these persons who were wearing the CID vests, were they with the illegal miners?
I would say yes, because they asked the illegal miners, they were in their Wellington boots.
Right.
I mean, the illegal miners came in their Wellington boots on motorbikes, and these built-up men were in like normal military boots with their guns and their black outfits and the vests.
I see. Now, and they refused to, even with the interrogation from the military personnel you were with, they didn't want to cooperate. They didn't want to give the information as you were asking for.
Yeah, not at all. They couldn't produce any ID cards or any identification.
I see. And just based on that, the trail of information that you got, which led to you changing your course and taking a different course, is it to say that you were on some top speed because of the fear of your own life? Reason why it led to this coalition? Let's understand what led to this head-on coalition.
Okay, so we drove in a number of vehicles. The national security were ahead, were the lead vehicle, and my vehicle followed. So we had to go. It's let's say a number of vehicles in a convoy. So we had to move at the pace the national security operators are moving. So we couldn't help it. We had to just go.
I thank you, Prof, for this. And before I let you go, the other colleague of mine, you say, has a broken tie. What's the extent of the injury? Do you know?
Yeah, I learned from the doctors that it's broken and position of, so it's broken and position changed as well. So they assessed the situation, and I learned they can fix it even here in Ghana. But I got the assurance from the presidency that if it cannot be fixed in Ghana, they are ready to send him out of the country to get it fixed.
You've been on this operation, as you indicated, for a number of days now. In fact, a couple of days you closed down a whole chamfang manufacturing company. They were fabricating chamfangs in this country. Yeah. Chinese.
Yes. And so in the warehouses where the water pumps, the champagne engines, the water hose, the mats, or they call it blankets that they use to capture gold when they are washing. Mm-hmm. And in the same warehouse, they do the fabrication of the washer. That is the metal that they wash the gold on in the warehouses. Some are doing it in the front, and then of course we have some Ghanaian-owned mechanic shop that also do this fabrication. But the fabrication of these washers or this metal structure is illegal in the country. We're not supposed to have that done. I saw a Ghanaian in his shop, and I asked him if he knows that what they fabricate is illegal. He said he doesn't know. So we did education for him, and then we asked him to dismantle the whole structure and not to go back to it. So even when we saw Ghanaians, we still dealt with it. We had our mechanics also with us. So when the shop owner is not there, we do the cutting ourselves, and then we leave.
Prof, I do appreciate you spending some time with us, and we'll touch base again tomorrow to get an update on the well-being of the journalists and your team as well, who were affected as a result of this accident. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Professor Nana Ama Brown Kluche is the Chief Executive Officer of the Environmental Protection Authority. Not too good news. But then again, the most important thing is that they are responding to treatment as we speak. William Evansinkum is our Northern Sector Bureau Chief here at Media General, and he's been to the health facility where these journalists are, including our very own Ibrahim Abubakar. And William is joining us right now. William, tell us what you saw when you went there, and how they're doing right now.
Well, so they're doing well. They are responding to simple commands, although not out of wounds yet. The Adam TV or multimedia guy, he had injury on the head region, and so that part of the head was bandaged. Then, of course, Ibrahim Abubakar, who has also taken some X-ray. We're still waiting for the physician to interpret the X-ray reports, so we also know what steps to take. Then I also know that one lady, Doris, from Channel 1 TV, she also had a dislocated joint in the shoulder region. That is what I am getting as a preliminary information for now. So I was there when her colleague had to help her take a bath before taking her medicine. And of course, there were other staff of NIPA. They are doing well, apart from Doris, who seems to be having some difficulty as far as managing herself at this material moment is concerned.
I see. We see one of our colleagues with a bandage on the head, and then also what Professor Nanama Brown Kluche indicated, another colleague with a broken tie as well. I know you did speak to them. How are they doing?
Well, they are very loud, as in they appear to be healthy, but inwardly they are going through a lot. Ibrahim, very vociferous, talking to me. If you are engaging him on the phone, he appears okay. But when you get closer, then he'll complain to you that, look, I'm having some chest pains. It's a gentleman spoke to her this evening. He and Nancy Amalawson, they were insisting that we bring him back to Kumasi to continue his medication. But the fact of the matter is that that particular hospital's policy, they are to detain patients, especially those who are brought in the facility due to accidents. The policy is that they detain them for 12 hours just to monitor their progress as far as their condition is concerned before they take a decision. So we couldn't bring him back to Kumasi, but just to wait and follow the policy of that particular facility.
I see. But, I mean, this operation you have been following, I mean, the EPS operation in the Ashanti region, you've been following prior to today, and you know this area quite well, where this incident happened. And you've been listening to Professor Kluche give an account of what happened, and this gun-wielding, machete-wielding illegal miners who threatened to attack them, reason they had to flee for their lives, that led to this head-on collision. Tell me about this particular area, maybe before we go, quickly.
Well, so there's a Galamsey-prone area. If you're talking about the Galamsey-prone areas or illegal mining-prone areas in the Ashanti region, then you're talking about Amansia West, East, and Central, the Amansia Enclave. Then, of course, you also talk about Achimampunia. You remember, Alfred, sometime in June, we were also attacked by some thugs when we were also following the Mineral Development Fund to also monitor activities of illegal mining and its impact on the environment at Akomfre. That was in Achimampunia district. So where Ibrahim and co were attacked was Dajune. Dajune is within the Adanse Asokwa enclave. Of course, yesterday we were there. I was there with the MDF, but we had crossed to Atetem. Atetem some time ago, that was around June, we brought a story about how the Ramsey activity is also hampering education. The Atetem DA school, just behind that particular school, was this, deep pits dug by illegal miners. Yesterday we were there. Ibrahim and co were also with the EPA doing also monitoring activities, even though within that enclave, but different parts of the Adanse Asokwa area. So where Ibrahim and co, like I mentioned earlier, were attacked, is an area that is prone to illegal mine activity. And for want of a better word, it has developed certain level of notoriety as far as illegal mining is concerned.
William, appreciate you for this. I know that you're keeping tabs on the well-being of our colleagues, so we'll touch base again tomorrow morning. I thank you so much for this update. William Evans Inkum is our Northern Sector Bureau Chief here at Media Journal. Want to wish all our colleagues speedy recovery as we keep them in our thoughts and prayers tonight. But coming up next here on Ghana Tonight, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, scoring some major breakthroughs with some 320 suspects. That's what's coming up tonight. 320 suspects have been arrested in Kumasi in the Ashanti region. Let's stay a bit further in the Ashanti region. This time around, this is with EOCO. This is a fraud issue. And we'll get some quick updates on this matter now. And we got videos from the Economic and Organized Crime Office. They've announced a major breakthrough in its fight against organized crime with the arrest of some 320 individuals in Kumasi in the Ashanti region as part of an anti-human trafficking and economic crime operation targeting the infamous QNet fraud scheme. Now, this QNet fraud scheme is for the uninitiated. something this is the IOCO has been on the path for quite a while now, tracking their nefarious activities across the country. Now, the raid conducted today, Thursday, November 6th, marks the single largest anti-human trafficking operation in the country and signals a significant escalation in IOCO's efforts to dismantle the networks exploiting victims under the guise of the QNet business module. Now, IOCO's anti-human trafficking unit executed the two simultaneous operations at different locations, resulting in the arrest of the people. We'll get a bit more detail on this. They are reassuring the public of its continued commitment to fighting economic and organized crime and urging citizens to report any suspicious activities to the officers. And this QNet scheme, which often involves recruitment based on promises of high returns through direct selling, has frequently been linked to human trafficking and financial fraud in Ghana. Now, the victims are often lured with the promise of lucrative overseas jobs or quick wealth, only to find themselves trapped, sometimes forced into debt or exploited for recruitment purposes. And that's what's happening right now. And let's get a bit more detail into this particular development and what IOCO has been doing in this regard. The people you're seeing on the screen, they're lying on the floor with their faces down. These persons that were rounded up, 320 of them, by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, IOCO, earlier today. 320 in the Ashanti region. Now, let's go on to Zoom right now, and we have Dominic Mensah. Dominic Mensah is the head of the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, IOCO. Mr. Mensah, good evening. Thank you for joining us. If you can unmute for me. Yeah? Great. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Now, with the videos we've been showing, these 320 people you rounded up, just break it down for us. Are they all suspected criminals, or they have their captors or the persons behind the scheme also part of the 320? If you could listen to me on the Zoom and not the television, okay?
Okay. So, thank you very much. And first of all, I'm Staff Officer Dominic Mensah.
I can hear you, so please go ahead.
Yeah. So, the numbers you saw, or the video that you saw on the screen, is from one of the two locations that we strike today.
Mr. Mensah, can you look into your camera on the laptop you're using? I can see you on the TV. You're very clear, so I can, yes.
Yeah. So the video you saw is just from one of the two locations that we operated today.
It's one of the two operations.
Yes, just from one of the locations, the two locations that we operated.
I see. That's why you rounded up this 320 people.
No, so this is the 320 is from the two locations. But okay. What you are seeing now is just from one of the two locations. Right.
I see.
And at the time, we didn't know who was the suspect, who was the victim. So we had to bring all of them to our office for screening. It was after that we realized that 25 of them are suspects and the rest were victims.
I see. The 25 are the persons masterminding this entire criminal syndicate.
Sure.
And the rest are victims of this.
Victims, yes, sir.
I see. So what's happening to them right now? The victims, where are they, and what are you going to be doing beyond today?
Okay, so the victims, because of their number, we had to keep them at where they were rescued from, and then we provided security for them, and then we gave them some had complaint of illness and all that, so we had to give them medication, and also we have to work on their psyche as well. So we have the victims with us. We are working on their psyche and their health and all that.
I see.
But
Now,
the suspects are in custody. As I speak with you.
they are in custody. I see.
Yeah.
You indicate that this was based on intelligence that you picked, and you moved in into these two locations. Now, this appears to be on a bigger scale, is it not? Because you conducted an operation in Kaswa in the central region not too long ago, and then we're seeing this. What's happening?
First of all, let me greet and commend my executive director, Raymond Acha, for the effort and the seriousness with which he has attached to the fight against human trafficking. I think somewhere April this year, we did a similar operation where we arrested about 231 individuals. And this time we are having 320, which is the largest in the country so far. So it's because of the efforts or the seriousness with which the executive director has attached the fight against human trafficking. That is why you are seeing these numbers now.
I see. But then also, we're seeing these numbers, and it raises, beyond what you are doing to clamp them down, it raises another question of why this scheme is ongoing and a lot more people are becoming victims, right? 320 is the largest we've seen, right? So are you targeting, beyond just clamping them down, other measures to identify where they're operating? Because this QNet thing, although the company has come out to clarify and disassociate themselves, it's been going on for quite a while, for a number of years now. So what's the thinking going forward?
Yeah, so this shows how anxious people are, especially the youth, in traveling outside or looking for opportunities nowadays. But I feel that going forward, we have to embark on a rigorous education on how some of these scams work. So that, because you can see that most of the people that we arrested are all youth, and then they are desperate, looking for greener pastures and all that. So we have to embark on education to let them know that not all opportunities are golden. So we go and do a lot of public education. And then also, we are not going to end the exercise only here in Kumasi. We will go to all the entire regions, and we encourage the public to also report any suspicious movements, activities in their area to YOPO.
I see. What's the age range or of these victims after speaking to them? Are you able to tell us amongst them the youngest age and the oldest amongst them?
Yes, the youngest was 17, and then the oldest was 39.
17 years.
Yes, and the oldest was 39.
Is this a trend you see amongst the previous operations you've conducted, this age bracket?
Yes. That is always the trend.
I see. Now, you did one in Kaswa Central Region. Now you've clamped down in the Ashanti region. Do you have an idea of how far and wide this criminal syndicate is working in this country?
Yes, per the intel that we have gathered, they are all over the country.
They are all over the country.
Yeah, they're all over in the country. All over the country in the various regions. But we are not stopping at Kumasi. We go to the various regions to do our best.
And they are watching you right now, victims or persons who could fall victim to this. What's that one advice you would give to people who are watching right now with this scheme that you are clamping down on?
So my advice is that all of us should be watchful, or we should be very careful. And I will say that we are all potential victims of some of these schemes, because in the previous exercises that we've done, We've had situations where people that you rescue, some of them were law enforcement officers. So that should tell you that we are all not safe. So we should all beware. We should all be careful when such opportunities are presented to us by certain individuals. You know, these days, traveling outside is not like before, where everything was shrouded in secrecy. So if anyone presents opportunity to you, make sure that you discuss with somebody that you feel knows better before you embark on such adventure. And then also encourage Ghanaians to report suspicious activities in their areas or communities to Yoko.
Well, Mr. Mensah, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
That's Dominic Mensah, is the head of the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO. In there, that's an advice you should also take seriously, spread far and wide. This is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, tensions flare. We'll give you details of that between the OSP and the former National Petroleum Authority boss, Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid. His lawyers are accusing the Office of the Special Prosecutor of a media trial. What exactly does that mean? We're going to unpack the issues tonight. So stay with us here on Ghana Tonight as we get a bit more detail on this particular matter. If you've been monitoring developments from the OSP's office and then also Mustafa Hamid's lawyers, they have been at each other on whether or not the OSP's claims have any basis of fact. There was a video that went viral with Mustafa Hamid responding to a question by a journalist when Chairman Wontumi was arraigned before court. Now, that video caught the attention of the OSP, and he has responded. In fact, he issued a statement to that in that regard, with Mustafa Hamid describing the charges against him as bogus. The OSP took a different perspective. We're going to go for this quick break. When we're back, we'll tell you exactly what's happening right now between these two. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and also on 3FM 92.7. Lawyers for the embattled former NPA boss Mustafa Hamid are fighting back insinuations by the Office of the Special Prosecutor that some assets have been frozen and seized in relation to the case involving the former NPA boss and 9 others. Now, the lawyers insist none of the properties the OSP purportedly froze and seized belong to their client, Dr. Mustafa Hamid. Says the OSP says some assets running into over 100 million cedis have been frozen. But this was on the back of a statement that Dr. Mustafa Hamid made in a video that's gone viral. The OSP saw this video and had reason to issue a statement on it. But this is what Dr. Mustafa Hamid said in this viral video. Take a look.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I came to support my friend who to me. Me, my matter there is useless. That's nothing in it. It's true. What's your problem? Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I came to support my friend who to me. Me, my matter there is useless. That's nothing in it. It's true.
So that's Dr. Mustafa Hamid, and Dennis Poberi Wadam Esquire is joining me. So it is this statement that caught the attention of the special prosecutor.
Exactly so.
And caused him to release some.
And that's the
detail.
beginning of what many say is a fight now between the OSP and that of lawyers for Dr. Mustafa Hamid.
What more do we know?
Well, so after this particular video went viral, the OSP took to social media to cite this particular video, reference it, and then use that as an opportunity to restate its case against Mustafa Hamid and 9 others. It didn't just end there. The OSP went ahead to indicate that assets worth 100 million Ghana cedis had been seized. So if you read this particular statement from the OSP, considering that it was in reference to this particular video, never mind that in this video we don't hear Dr. Hamid saying that the OSP's case against me or the state case. He just says that my case is a useless case. And I say that it's very important because along the line, we'll get to a point where there's going to be an attempt to disassociate some of the issues.
True.
Now, OSP cites that video, restates the case against them, and states that some assets and properties in excess of worth 100 million had been seized. Now, lawyers for Dr. Hamid, not enthused with the statement of the OSP, issue a statement, and in that statement, they indicate that no property of their client had been seized by the OSP.
Right.
But when you read the statement that was issued by the OSP, these are the relevant portions of it. After restating the case, the charges against him and the others and all that, the OSP indicated portions of it, says that in total, Dr. Abdul Hamid is alleged to have played a leading role in a grand extortion and laundering scheme that caused the state and petroleum sector losses exceeding some 290 million and over 330,000 United States dollars.
Which is a fact he stated already.
Those are the facts on which the case is built on.
Great.
Now he continues to say the Office of the Special Prosecutor has already seized and frozen assets valued at more than 100 million Ghana cedis and over 100,000 United States dollars with additional assets under active tracing. And this is the part of the statement that lawyers for Abdul Hamid are not happy with, because this creates the impression as though these assets in question were assets owned by Dr. Abdul Hamid. So that's how come they issued a statement, and in that statement, they say that as counsel for Dr. Abdul Hamid, we wish to place on record emphatically and without ambiguity that no assets or businesses belonging to or associated with our client has been identified, traced, or seized by the OSP. Our client owns no such assets, directly or indirectly, and no property worth the stated amount exists anywhere in connection with him. So that was in response to the first statement by the OSP. Let's go back to the timeline and see what happens next.
Yes.
Now, after that letter, OSP comes to publish a list of assets it says are assets that had been seized. So you see a comprehensive list that the OSP publishes and says that that list is a list of assets that it had seized in respect of this matter that has been spoken about.
I see.
It's a long list.
And we captured a few.
Yes, we captured a few of those.
We're going to put that on the screen in a bit. But let's recall that video, exactly what Dr. Mustafa Hamid said, which prompted this lengthy response from the OSP. In fact, detailing the assets that he says he has frozen. Let's look at this video again.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I came to support my friend who to me. My matter there is useless. That's nothing in it. It's true. YouTube blogger. Okay.
This is a video that was captured and put out by Ghana Eye, as you see it there. There's for acknowledging the source of this video. But here's what we do know. This is what the OSP has published. They say these are the seized assets in the NPA case.
So they put out this list. They indicate the nature of the assets. This is a Sino-truck fuel tanker. They give the registration number, a 2024 registered, another Sino-truck fuel tanker. There's an articulator head and all that. It's a long list of items. What you do see here are two things which come out strongly. One, that some of the assets are those that have been confirmed by the court. Now it's instructive to put on record that the OSP does not just seize assets anyhow.
Okay.
Usually, depending on the extent to which they've gone with either investigation or they've charged the people, they can seize for a period of time and they go to court for the court to confirm.
Right.
So he's saying that in respect of these 5, the court has confirmed the seizure. However, in respect of the others, the assets are yet to be confirmed by the court.
And that's the Mercedes-Benz GLE 450.
Yes.
Underdeveloped land. Let's flip to the next one. And then there is some lands in Committee 18, 19.
Exactly. So all these are yet to be confirmed by the courts. And it's also important to state that it's not always the case that when the OSP makes an application to seize assets, it is granted, or to freeze accounts, it is granted. Because we do recall what happened in the case of Cecilia Dapa, when the OSP made an attempt to seize and freeze some accounts, that was denied. And, I mean, those are things that have happened before.
There's this, let's flip to the next one. It's quite interesting. The studio apartment,
yes,
the address.
The Atlas Suite, A8.
The address.
The address, 1-bedroom, Roman Rich. These are landed properties.
Right.
So now, having released this list, lawyers for Abdul Hamid come back to say, yes, we have seen that you have released a list of assets, which you say you have seized in respect of the matter in which our client is. But we still insist that none of those assets that you released belong to our clients. Because when you look at what we have just shown, it does not indicate who owns what.
Right.
So this is what the lawyers say. That we wish to state categorically and without any qualification that Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid neither owns, partly owns, controls, nor has any form of interest, connection, or linkage whatsoever to any of the assets published by the OSP. So they clearly are saying that, yes, you have published the assets, but we are saying that these assets do not belong to our client. Alfred, where it gets interesting is a point where after the first publication by the OSP and the response from the lawyers of Abdul Hamid, there was a suggestion by the director of the communications and strategy at the office of the special prosecutor to say that they did not say the assets that were seized belonged to Abdul Hamid, and that people may have misconstrued what was said, because that at no point did they mention Abdul Hamid's name to be the owner of those assets.
I see.
But the other question also arises. When Dr. Hamid said, my case is useless, did he specify which kind of case for which the OSP also responded?
Exactly.
So those are questions that are still out there. But the bigger picture is that, yes, there's a case which is pending against Abdul Hamid and 9 others. In the coming days, he's going to court because when he was granted bail, he was asked to deposit his passport. Now he wants his passport to travel abroad to attend a conference, a political conference. He's made an application to the court asking that the passport be released to him. That will be heard and as to whether it will be granted or not will be determined in the coming days. So that's where we are with this particular matter, but it's still ongoing. Lawyers are fighting that these assets that do not belong to our client, OSP says we have received 100 million in respect of that particular case. So that's what we're also having.
We'll see how the coming days will look like on this.
Exactly.
And, I think next week as well, this matter will make an appearance in court. Dennis Bobert Wadam Esquire, thank you for joining us. On behalf of the rest of the team, we do appreciate your company. Join us same time tomorrow for another conversation. My name is Alfred Ocansey. Have a good night.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by